let's say that I run a $4 million firm, and my marketing budget, being a personal injury firm, is probably going to be higher than your traditional firm. So it's going to be multiple tens of percentages usually. What allocation would you say firms need to do? Paid versus other channels, SEO or social? Do you have any insight there?
I think it all goes back to the goal of the client, really. Mm-hmm. If they're getting enough lead volume and they just need more, or they're getting enough lead volume and they want to attract a specific area of the firm. We've had a lot of, clients, they get a lot of personal injury, like car accident cases, but they really like the med mal, and they just want to focus there. I think different strategies contribute to different allocated services. But I think that's a hard one because
No, it would depend on the goals. That's right.
Yeah.
It's funny, though. You said something, lead volume, and that triggered something else that I see very commonly. A lot of times, I'm not sure that firms, they think need more leads, but really what they need is to respond to those leads that they're getting, that speed to lead within the first 30 seconds or the first minute or less. Mm-hmm. Like the big, well-oiled machines, the bigger firms, that's what they do. I don't think people necessarily realize that I can't take an hour or a day. I can't not answer my phone, essentially. This is like you're losing that business. If they're calling you after having done a little research about you and you don't answer the phone, they're going to go somewhere else.
It's true. I think that also goes to the point of we've had huge firms, $4 million or whatnot, think they have a good answering system. And then the transparency of us, right, or tools in place or anybody doing transparency from agency to client, listening to those calls and realizing they don't have a good answering system and bringing that to the table and saying this is potentially why you're losing X amount of revenue. If we fix this problem, so a lead volume system where, calls are being answered and answered properly and correctly and like sending it to the right, areas in the firm. I think we see constantly, time over time, a big problem with just lead volume and navigating that.
Essentially, you need to track metrics, right, that you want that are important to you. Mm-hmm. And it's quick. It's easy to jump. These leads aren't closing. But you do need to have a tight handle on that stuff. You need to call your own answering service after hours, during hours, and just give yourself a realistic picture of what's happening. Fill out those forms, those live chats. And is it a good customer experience? Because that is an easy win opportunity, I think, for firms that just want to get more out of what they already have. It's just like refine those processes and respond quicker and respond thoughtfully and better. That's also a review opportunity, which guess what that helps with? Local SEO, right?
Yep.
So, Leanne, I know we have a webinar coming up in the next week or so here, or I guess I do. But, one of the things that we're going to be talking about is another strategy that I just wanted to touch on real quickly, because I know that you worked with some of our clients or worked with our team members who have worked with our clients who have done it, where they've kind of maximized. Maybe they put a lot of effort into their local SEO and they're ranking pretty well across their city. There I am talking about ranking again, but just using that as an illustration. They're performing okay, but they have bigger ambitions and that's not doing as well as they want. I think a mistake that I've seen people do is just trying to put more and more focus on something that we can't control fully because of geography or where that person is searching from. And instead think about how can I put my marketing dollars to work in a way that I can track, and that might be expanding offices to other locations. You've worked with clients that have done that and seen some tremendous growth from that, right?
Huge. We've had firms starting minimal dollars with one location, and now they're 6-7 locations.
Yeah.
And they're just dominating the area. And I think if we can help them grow in one area and really hone in and do it right, they're able to grow pretty quickly over the next year and a half. Again, those things don't take a lot to get there. It's just if they're willing to trust an agency and put in, the agency is doing the right things,